good day, sir. I'm Cornejo, a first-year BSCRM student. So I'm here to discuss my answers on regards to the practical exam of these subjects, which is reading visual art. So one of the famous artwork that I choose is the artwork of Fernando Amorsolo, which is the Planting Rice. So this painting, I believe, is a representational art as it portrays something other than its form. This painting falls under the classifications of painting as genre painting, as it is painted in the contemporary life of the Filipino farmers in 1951 when it was painted, as they are engaged in the regular everyday occupations and activities. So behind the workers, a farmer with a carabao flag. So in the background is a cluster of nipa huts along the thick accumulation of trees and weeds. The central groupings of lush trees and hills provides an idyllic settings for the workers besides a mountain view or background. I think this painting basically captures the traditional Filipino occupations of the farm life of men and women in the hot, sunny day. It depicts how enduring they are and how the farmers work together. It portrays of provincial settings in which the farmer wears traditional clothes for farming in the 1950s. I would say that this painting has a relationship with Amorsolo. His works usually depicts people and various scenes of the Philippines. Those painting of nationalistic, the true character, smiles, emotions, or feelings and spirits of the Filipino people, which say something about his creations that falls in the same classification. Amorsolo is best known for his illuminated landscapes, which often portrayed traditional Filipino costumes, cultures, fiestas, and occupations. Therefore, Amorsolo painted a peaceful painting such as planting rice to get back his usual expression using the light technique of painting. He also spent his childhood in the province of Camarines Norte, in which I believe affected the subject matter of his painting as provincial. So moving on, we will now move on to the one of my artworks in this subject. So my artworks exemplifies realism because once we're going to understand, we are going to see reality. So these idealistic artworks portray our real life situations and events that is similarly happen to ordinary people. And the fact that this is one of the livelihoods of the Filipino farmers and one of the kinds to look for the beauty and their peace which surrounded with many rice fields. So my artworks emphasize a human figure, or to be specific, a farmer, often a rural laborer isolated in the fields. So the type of dress he was wearing depicted in ordinary life situations. So this sought to portray real contemporary people and situations with truth and accuracy, as they are engaged in their regular everyday occupations and activities. So behind the farmers is the rice field. So this is basically captures the traditional Filipino occupations of the farm life of men in a sunny day. So it depicts on how enduring they are and how the farmers works. It portrays provincial settings in which the farmers wear traditional clothes for farming and captures that fashions. So basically, this artworks is emphasize every Filipino with respect to the subject matter. The subject matter itself defines the aesthetic qualities of my artworks relating to the period and to appreciate more its beauty. So the perceived value, importance, function, or significance of this painting is the aesthetic appreciation I give to it. The surface look is beautiful at first glance, as I cannot paint as realistically as Amorsolo paints. So the underlying values are sentimentality with respect to the subject matter as a Filipino defections of a scene familiar to all Filipinos. One of the primary values of the painting is to simply contribute to the usage of the sense of sight of the audience, which are us, the Filipinos, to simply appreciate a work of art that does not need science but to humanize us, just using pre-judgment and leaving the more specific details to the experts as a form of advanced studies for arts students. So this is a typical theme painted by many Filipino artists, but beyond that, the several versions prove that it is not only painted because of the simplicity but the underlying significance to our culture.